Good morning and welcome to the Moopsyverse, where Chris and I are discussing the failures of skin. Not human skin, ship skin. Human skin's a different story. But
unfortunately, Janeway skin is probably... I mean, the skin for the base material is fine, but I just can't for the love of me tolerate the way it was actually made for the 32nd century material, which is wrong all the way through.
I wouldn't know. One, I don't know ships. Two, don't know Discovery. Three, don't care. It's a ship, it goes fly in the space, and it goes pew-pew when I need it to do it. And it's same functionality I have for almost everything mechanical. Ooh, it's green, or red, or blue, or white. Good enough for me.
Well, I'm nerdy that way, and
Yes.
it really irks me the wrong way.
Yes, you are nerdy that way, which is totally awesome. Oh my god, I have polaron damage in space.
Get these ships in the battle zone, and these ships in the battle zone.
Let me go get
anti-proton damage on the ground. No, that last one is not going to happen.
What was the last one?
Anti-proton damage on ground. Herald ships. Okay. We rolled it to herald ships wherever.
Lexers, we did the Universal last night. Where were you? And good morning, Infected Dot.
Yeah, the binary circuit is not having...
It went great last night, by the way. I did my cation, and I had bioessence transfer on it, which means as soon as we got to the first platform, I was able to jump across to the last one, trigger that. I managed to get through the maze without dying, so I got that one turned off. And I can't remember what happened on the third one. Oh, the third one was a nice group effort, and we were so far ahead of the other team that we finished off our platform really quick. Just worked out great. I may be on after the show to do it on my other account, Lexers. I will see, because I have somebody coming over to look at the electrical system today. Woo! Hey, we have an ad running right now. But I'm happy to tell y'all it's Friday.
Oh, it freaking is. I can't wait until this day ends. Being at work. I don't want to jinx it, but it's actually peaceful today.
Oh, yeah, don't say it. Do not say it.
I mean, the rest of the day is... like what?
I have, like I said, the electrician coming this morning to take a look at a couple of problems I've got in the house, and that's it. Then I'm in chill mode for 2 days, which I am definitely looking forward to. Might get something in barbecue this evening. No, that's right, we got a show tonight. Sorry, we have a show tonight. We are going to watch... What are we watching tonight? We are watching Star Raider tonight. That's going to be like 6:30, 6:45. So if you want to join us for a bad movie, please do. I may be on earlier and playing a little stow, but... Oh, and come to think of it, what is the Universal for right now? Right now it's a binary circuit, but it becomes counterpoint for the weekend. And then next week we start off with a nice 5,000 fleet credits. Then it promptly goes downhill into Gravity Kills for Wednesday, which we got in random last night. And next Friday is Days of Doom, which... yes, Mark Boost begins in a few more hours. I will update the message of the day, Lexers, once I'm done here. At least in theory. And that's it. There's not a lot else happening this weekend.
Oh my god, why does it need to be a Nidarian defender in the middle of the ring? Well, that's part of the battle zone is worked.
Where are you at? How many do you need to do in the battle zone?
No, Dean has only 5.
Oh,
so
okay.
Just wrapping it up. One more, and
Well,
that'll be
apparently
the
I
end
have
of it.
Tholians on Nucara. I wonder if I have a disruptor on this tune. I could run off and do that really quick. Oh,
Sounds
no,
like a
definitely
real
not.
thing.
This tune is the antithesis of disruptors. Though I suppose I might have a cyclic on this tune. Scout should have stuff like that. Reclaim rewards, ground equipment, blah bitty blah bitty blah. Level appropriate. Well, thank you. I like that one better. All Tholians, please line up against the wall. It will all be over soon. No more taxes afterwards. Oh my god, so true. True that.
God.
I'm at Drozonic and easily zip over to New Tholia. So I find it interesting that most of the species are named for their planets, or their planets are named for the species in the game, except for a few like, well, Nimbus doesn't count. There isn't a native species, but Tholians are on Nucara. Now, I know that the Tholians don't come from
The native
Nucara.
homeworld.
Yeah. So they can get away with it. But come on, we're humans and we don't call this Humana. We call it Earth. Wouldn't you think most cultures would have kind of a different name than...
We should be named Earthlings.
Yeah.
That sounds so bad.
Well, we are Earthlings, but that's a different story. But I mean, just for cleverness, the Ferengis are from Ferengina. Or the, what are Betazoids from? Are they from...
Betazed?
Betazed. See, yeah, it's not clever. It's many things.
Maybe
Clever.
it doesn't have to be. Maybe they just deliberately, collectively decided to name their planet. Like, the Vulcans renamed their planet Nivar at some point when the Romulans rejoined. They rebranded to Nivar.
Oops, let's put that on the right one there.
You know,
There's my
there's
disruptor
a
fire.
possibility that many cultures have, like, I think Earth doesn't have I mean, actually Terra in the Mirror Universe, that's what they call it. They don't call it Earth, they call it Terra.
Yeah,
And they're
see,
called Terrans.
right, see, that's...
I think it's because we have still, like, divisions in countries over here. Like, yeah, we are part of the United Federation of Planets, but we do consist, like, we're not like a European Union of Earth. Maybe but there is a United Earth later on, so I don't know, maybe it's different. I don't know.
I just think it's humorous that you would think we'd have a little more diversity in species and planet name, because we did it here. My guess is they would do it there. Let's see. Creative naming is not a strong suit of Star Trek writers. Yeah, especially since the Romulans named their place
And the
Romulus.
Borg aren't exactly very clever. Borg is short of cyborg, so I'm sorry.
Well, they're the collective, and they don't really have a home planet, so it's a little different.
Yeah, but we call them Borg, and it sounds Swedish, but also it's just a short name of cyborg, and that's what they are. They are cyborgs.
They are cyborgs, yes. Let's see.
Technically, that's not inaccurate. And Romulans, I'm sorry, that's too Rome infused. And it's funny that Romulans are literally are just an allegory for ancient Romans in a way, because even their political system is consisting of centurions.
I'm sorry, do you think that's coincidental? No, that's bad script writing.
Oh, no, that's bad script writing. That was lazy. That was
lazy script writing, right?
We can figure out the name, so we just name them Romulans.
And we add a Remans to it. No, pity, nope. I don't think so. My headcanon is the Borg were once a federation of planets that took unity too far. Ooh, that's an interesting approach.
I mean, that's one my take. I think why Earth doesn't have like a name on its own that is like synonymous with humanity, like I don't know,
Humana.
Humana or whatever else we could think of. I can't think of a clever name that doesn't sound dumb.
Well, of course, part of it is that our concept of human and Earth evolved over millennia, if not longer periods of time, and everybody already had their name for it, and we're finally just like, fine, we're gonna call it Earth. Are we okay with that? Okay.
Yeah, but it might be just like because we are like in the Star Trek universe anyway, we are united as a species, but we still consist of different cultures that like want to remain having their individual um integrity and like their individuality intact. So like we don't that some people observe different traditions locally, and that's okay because we still like thrive as a one singular species. I meant in the Star Trek universe in the future,
Yeah,
we'll
I knew
never
you.
be united. I did say
I,
that deliberately so no one picks on it, but here's Lexer still picking up.
I knew where you're going with it when you said we're united. I'm like, oh, he's talking about the future. Okay. Okay, so here's then the other thing. Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Exactly, break the box. Exactly. So we go to the alien planet. They all dress the same. What?
Do they?
Yeah, go watch Star Trek. You go there and they're like, ooh, everybody's going to wear jumpsuits. And if we're really fancy, maybe they'll have different colored T-shirts underneath them. Woohoo!
I
And
mean, it's not like an argument in that. It's not like they visit every single region on the planet.
this is true.
Perhaps they just landed in a region when they dress like that, and that's normal. And like we would go to ancient China, people would be dressing differently. People go there, like to a tribe in Africa, and they will still dress like they do locally, and everyone's going to look the same way. But like,
But they don't look the same way. You go to almost any other place
I
on
mean,
this planet, and even if everybody has a similar concept, there's always some variation in it.
well, maybe they do have that as well. We never seen actually them see every single continent on the planet.
This is true, but when we see a setting like, I'm trying to think of what one of them is, but there's a couple where we go to a planet
I
where the
remember
prime.
that was kind of shown not in Star Trek because Star Trek never actually stayed around of a theme of a species long enough to actually let us see more sides to them. But I remember watching like I think it was Stargate Atlantis when they were showing two different countries that were fighting each other,
Hmm.
and like the Atlantis expedition were kind of working with one side because they seemed more democratic, than the other seemed more like dictatorship, and they had different uniforms and they looked differently because there was time in like because it was a reoccurring theme in the season and it wasn't just like one off. Like one of the biggest issues with Star Trek that it never allowed those elements to really emerge is probably because they never had that time. When they introduced a new species, it was just like for one episode only, maybe
Right,
two,
right.
and then it was just like popping in and out. Or whenever we saw more of the same species, they were already part of Starfleet, so they already dressed in Starfleet uniforms, like Bullions, for example. We've seen many Bullions that worked in Starfleet, or like I don't know Vulcans, and they all dress the same. But like we didn't see all aspects of their culture, and that's the thing. We don't even see much of Earth in Star Trek. We
No,
don't really see much of um, Vulcan like common folk because it's all about the track itself in Star Trek. There is no really time or space for that to really
well, I'm going to argue with
show
that because
diversity.
when we go to Vulcan, we see people in different
But
costumes and different
remember
outfits.
Zindi. But
I don't.
remember Zindi. They consisted of five different species,
Right.
and they all look differently.
Yep. Let me jump back here
And
a little bit. Break the Box says, I saw a meme that said Deep Space Nine costume designers got given the most random pile of fabrics and told they had to use all of them. Yep, great idea. Let them come with different clothes and different outfits and different fabrics, and it makes more sense because that's more what life is like. Cliff is working on something, but will be here shortly. Lexer says, I struggle recognizing individual Chinese. I can tell Jackie Chan from Jet Li, but that's about the extent of my capabilities. Yeah, unless you know a lot of them,
yeah,
you
but
begin
you
to
can.
recognize them as individuals, and I think that's true of a lot of races. You know, you get used to seeing a face over a period of time, like without being intensely racist, I never recognize my physical therapist outside of the professional settings. And every time she changes her hair, I'm like, is that
Is that a
you?
new person?
Yeah. And I usually break down to, did you change your hair? And she'll be like, oh yeah, I did. I'm like, and trying to go, okay, then I am stupid, but
You're the
you
same
did change your
person.
hair, so I mean, there's something. And admittedly, I
Oh, no.
change my hair every week, so I can totally understand that, but mine's purple and pink, and it's a little more obvious that it's changed. Then again, how many people do you know who have purple and pink hair? Let's see. Lecture says they push this uniformity to the next level at times. For example, all Benzites are played by the same actor. But do you know why? Because there is a reason for a lot of these that all of the species will be played by the same actor.
They
Because a
were
lot of times
clones, weren't they?
no, it's because the prosthetics that they make for the elaborate makeup
Oh, yeah. They
is
didn't.
expensive, and when you try and put it on somebody else, it doesn't always fit. So it's easier to just go, hey, we'll just put the same guy in
Yeah,
it and maybe
you either.
change a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Either you actually employ 5 people that look the same, which is
Hmm.
very hard, or you just have to like.
Yeah, and once you've
Yeah.
got that prosthetic makeup designed and developed, it's basically a matter of gluing it on and not having to redo it every time.
They did reuse many costumes over
Oh
the
yeah,
course of like
oh yeah.
TNG, for example. Like if something was used as a major cast, like maybe not major cast member, but like stuff that Loxana wore was also seen worn by other women, like in the background. They weren't like showing prominently, not to be too much in your face, but they would be used like, oh, you put this on. So if they were like the right size, they could just skip
Hmm.
them in a costume that already was seen on the show. But it's an intergalactic fashion, so
Yeah,
maybe it's just like it's common these days, you
it
know.
is. Break the Box says so much of Star Trek comes down to budget. True that. When the movies came out,
Yeah,
someone asked Roddenberry why the Klingons looked different, and he said it's because they had a bigger budget. Yes, it's actually
but
true.
that was actually true
It is,
because
yeah.
they didn't do a lot of prosthetics in TOS.
No,
Most of the time,
prosthetics
they
were,
just use body painting and like wigs and like weird costumes
yeah.
that hid their human bodies. So
Hmm.
like, or if they were like completely income, like fully embodied into a costume, you couldn't make out a human. But that was really a hard thing to pull off believably. Like, I'm sorry, but the corn. Still a thing of nightmares today. And that looks such a cheap costume for kids. And I was like, oh my god.
Let's see. Marina
Uh,
Sirtis bought some of the props used in Nemesis and volunteered them in Picard. I believe that, and I've got Picard's story. Harry Kim had to wear Data's shoes because the budget constraints on Voyager. He said they were worn out and barely fit. Wow, that's interesting. In the original series, they did not budget much money for the boots that they wore, and within like the first couple of weeks, everybody had major foot problems, so they wound up deciding that that's one place they had to budget more money because the shoes were
yeah.
killing everybody.
Shoes are such a problem in movie industry in general. I remember, oh, what's his name? What's his name? You remember Grand Moff Tarkin
Yeah.
from New
Hmm.
Hope Star Wars? You know how he wore slippers?
Yeah, it's why they made sure they didn't shoot him from
Because
the waist down.
yeah, he asked for it. It's like don't do close-ups. Don't shoot me from like way. Shoot close-ups like or shoot me from waist up. So
Hmm.
because I can't wear these shoes; they're too small. Because he had big feet.
Yeah. Oh,
Peter Cushing. That's
yeah.
that's what his name
Oh,
was. I remember.
amazing person.
Yeah.
So my Star Trek Picard story is, I think it's Dave Blass was the set designer, or even more important, but he goes to Star Trek conventions and tells wonderful stories about where
It's him
they
and this Podkolsky. Yeah.
yeah. He has gone into long stories about how they had to allocate their very limited resources and money and what they could get away with. Can we do this with plywood? Can we do it with cardboard? And let's spend the money where it's going to have the biggest bang for the buck. But the one thing that they wanted was the carpeting from the Enterprise from TNG Bridge to be in the new ship, or to be in the rebuild of the ship. And they don't make that carpeting anymore, but they found something that was very similar, but they could get, let's say, 10 yards of it. That's it. So one stain, one tear, one screw up, and that was it. It was going to fail.
Every entry point to that bridge set was like, don't bring any
Yeah.
foods or drink because you will
And,
be
and
murdered.
do not make any mistakes in laying this out and securing everything, because once it's cut, we're dead.
Yeah.
That was really funny to hear him talk about all of that. But where they did
Yeah.
spend the money was on the, for example, the displays on the bridge. All of those are real displays. They're not CGI. They've got computers up running, and somebody is running a sequence on the opposite side, making sure everything is properly sequenced and changing. So it looks fantastic.
They didn't even do CGI in the originals, but they were like they were making up for stuff. So they were backlit, just black glass with some graphics like
Right.
slapped onto it, like underneath the surface.
Right.
And the only thing that could have been flickering could be just like one or two lights. So they would just turn them on and off at will, but most of it was permanently backlit because they couldn't make it interactive. But right now they could make it the full display, fully customizable. They made it animate and then do all the stuff that you would expect. That was really awesome to know that they went to extent.
Well, would you like to do some pew-pew? Because I know we've been chit-chatting here about the fun stuff. I just have damage in space. What'd you have?
I've got Herald ships.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. We could try the daily because I still have it on the agenda.
Okay. The TFO?
Yeah, because it has Herald. I might actually kill two birds with one stone.
Okay, here we go. We are queued for Shattered Peace. Yeah, the budget gets really interesting. But then at the same time, in the first two seasons, the costumes were designed to look, for the bridge crew, extremely, unwrinkled, and so what they did was they made them small, like one size smaller, extremely tight, and for a lot of them, for the separate pants, they had to wear suspenders that kept them hiked up, and so they're all getting back problems and foot problems, and finally fixed it by going, yeah, it's okay if people get a little wrinkled. It's real life. But I have to say, there's a person in Hollywood/London who is married to a member of royalty who, for the life of her, cannot go out in public without looking wrinkled all the time. And it's just like, how? How can you? I don't look that wrinkled, and I'm an unkempt person. I just find it. Pardon?
Who exactly?
Meghan Markle.
Well, she's not royalty, though.
No, I didn't say she was. I said she's married to royalty. She is definitely not royalty.
No, she just doesn't give enough love.
She does. She just doesn't seem to get how to not look wrinkly. A lot of that's fabric and design choice.
Yeah, it might be that.
I mean, if you want to be wrinkly, wear things like these pants I'm wearing, which are what is it called? I don't know what it's called. It's like linen, but it's already wrinkled. It's the way it's supposed to look.
So badly, my God! It just can't have it pristine. But that seems to for silk and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, silk.
I had a laugh when I saw a material from the behind the scenes. I'm not sure if that was after they finished shooting TNG, or they were just into the film segments, the motion picture segments. But Marina was doing a tour through not the sets, but like through the costumes of TNG, and had like memories about stuff. And I remember distinctly when she had a big laugh of the underwear that men had to wear,
oh,
so
God.
there would be no bulges showing. And I was like, oh my God!
I'm so sorry. Good morning, Mar Hockman.
I was like, my God!
I saw what Jerry Bryan had to wear under that silver catsuit. I'm thinking, oh my God, that thing looks uncomfortable.
Painful. That looked like torture device.
Yeah. What do we miss?
That's one of those things that I found interesting when reading about what cosplayers did, making less uncomfortable imitations of it.
Oh.
And you're like, so why did the costuming people on Voyager do it the other way?
Well, because there were no other costumes like that around that time, and the materials were different, and they had different budget, and also they had to improvise on time because there was not enough time to research. When a cosplayer is just designing their costume, they've got all the time in the world.
Yeah,
They're just doing it for maybe a show next year, but they have an entire year to design it, to perfectly design, to
exactly.
check it.
I have spent like 20 hours just putting on the 200 buttons on one of my skirts for cosplay.
Yeah,
you can't do that for a show. but at the same time,
Yeah.
if you even look at the fabrics, it's like the undergarment she had was some combination of linen for fabric, and not even finished edges. It's just like, here, put this on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Going off topic here, Break the Box says, I'm slowly grinding out Endeavor levels on my KDF recruit. Good for you. Only 500,000 more Endeavor XP to get the bonus for all tunes. Nice. Go for it. I kind of given up on my 2 alternate accounts about getting the Endeavors done. I'm at 200 and not going to do it. A lot of the changes they made in the Jellicoe episodes that he ordered were things the cast had been asking for, like getting rid of Picard's fish and giving Troy a regular uniform. Stewart didn't think they should keep a creature in captivity, good point. And Sirtis wanted a less revealing uniform for obvious reasons. I like that. Yeah, make the changes that you need, and now you've given it a good story reason. Good for you.
That's actually another interesting thing, though, is that one thing I realized with 7 of 9 is that it being a revealing outfit was actually more of an illusion than anything else, because while it's not something that's obviously bulky, it doesn't actually it's not actually form-fitting. It's some weird
well, I do notice that is she did the silver outfit for like 1 or 2 episodes, and then promptly switched her over to the more neutral brown one, which, while lower cut, was definitely not as overtly sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Which was definitely better. Oh, well, I got my polar
damage. You can say that about a tight suit, but...
Well, I said overtly. It's still sexy, but it's brown. It's kind of a neutral color. It's... as opposed to silver, shiny,
well,
and
she
oh
had
my god.
different colors. There were blue sections.
Oh, that's right, she's blue, didn't she?
She was like, kind of like dark purple / dark pink kind of blend.
I don't remember that one, but
like pink red. That was, she had different versions, but yeah, overall that was a tight suit.
I did notice with DS9 with like Kira, they got away from overtly sexy and went into professional. She had a jacket, she had pants, she didn't have anything that was overt. And it really works better. You take her more seriously in that. Which I know that's very sexist of me. But, you dress for your job.
Yeah, it's like
I loved Kira. She was a badass.
In terms of character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I just wanted to make sure we weren't referring to the actress. Who may be, I don't know. But the character was great.
No, I mean, the way she played, she was so passionate and so emotional, and yet so authoritative, even though she was a small little woman. Like, you could see she's tiny, but you could see she's also feisty. She's not gonna let you hold her height against her. Like, she's definitely had her wits, has been through stuff, and she definitely knows her way around dealing with people. Even though sometimes she would lose her temper. Still, just absolutely love Kira.
Yeah.
I love a good, strong female characters, leads or otherwise. So whenever there's a character like Kira, I still really like Janeway when she was dealing with bully type species. And it's like, I don't like bullies, and I don't like you. I mean, I'm gonna tore through you. Like, I just love those one-liners when she got them. She wasn't the most brilliantly written character, but when she had her moments, she had her moments. And of course, Margot delivered on that note. Actor-wise.
Break the Box says a lot of sexy Trek decisions were made because Rick Berman was, well, Rick Berman, yeah.
I mean, he was I guess he stepped into the shoes of Gene Roddenberry better than one would expect.
Yeah, so true. True.
I mean, like there's a reason for the Counselor Troy look, and it wasn't,
Yeah, she did complain in the interview that she said that I wouldn't say that. We'll say that anyway. I was like, oh my god, this is so stupid. Like, she really hated the way Deanna was written for especially first half of the show.
Oh yeah.
It was like, a bit more kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna sense it. Oh no, I'm sensing he's terrible. I'm like, oh my god, this is so boring.
Yeah, make her into a
But
bit.
she was like,
Well,
whenever she got more stuff to do and to say, she really appreciated those moments because
well,
it was
see,
a
because
time for her character to unwind.
in the early episodes, it felt like the writers had her on the bridge solely for the whole like psionic senses gimmick and little else, and it's
Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
repetitive and dull, and you're like, this isn't how the Federation normally does things.
Yeah. Lexers makes a comment about yes and no. Taming it down for the political thing of the moment meant that sacrificing on specific cultures, liberalism, and Puritanism. Yes and no. You're right on that one. The times they were different then, and being PC was not a thing
Was
as much.
still the 90s. PC wasn't a thing back then so
Well,
much.
Well, actually, they just had a different concept of it that doesn't really make sense to us now. But like there were certain things that were like utterly taboo that they wouldn't even think about saying that people forgot were taboo later on.
Hey, it's like in the original series. Women could be in incredibly revealing outfits, but showing a belly button was forbidden. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's actually one of those things that got brought up with with Theis's costuming, is that when you look at it, there are certain body parts that are actually always covered,
Yeah.
despite the fact that it's generally revealing.
Yeah. Yeah. The requirements were you can't show the underside of a breast, you can't show a belly button. I can't remember. There's something else. Maybe the side of a boob too. Also, no-nos.
Uh,
Very interesting. There's some great books on it. Lexer says, yes, but keep in mind, nearly all telepath species in Star Trek are depicted as heavily sexualized. Excellent point, Lexers. Chris, may I change tunes? Would you mind?
Why would I mind?
I'm just asking. I didn't want to be rude because I'm just going to show that. I'm going to switch up. Hold on a sec because the mics are going to go off when I do this, so just momentarily we'll get out of this. I'm always happy when I can remember how to log into this. Cliff is ready to join us. Yeah, I want one of these telepathic, highly sexualized species to go walking up to another species and look at them and go, ugh! Ooh, out of your mind. Let's see. Oh, I have Polaron damage in space on this one, too.
Oh my god.
What the heck? I don't think this is my Polaron tune. This is not my Polaron tune. Let me grab
get Heralds in that one, so...
Oh, we'll go get Heralds. We have to drag Cliff along to do some Cliff things, too. What are we doing, Cliff? Who is my... There we go. That should be this one. There is that one moment when Loxana goes something like that. She's reading somebody's mind and goes, oh, I always knew you thought about that. And it's like, what? What? We want more.
Yeah, she would comment, but we wouldn't know what exactly. We could just imagine.
That was actually funny.
You know, thinking back on the list of the other telepathic races they had pop up in TNG, I think every single one of them was written as a counterpoint to Betazoids, so that the whole thing with Betazoids doing all of the weird sexy whatever with their telepathy got avoided on almost every single one of them.
Well, it's not great for driving a plot is the problem, in my opinion. It's just
plot
devicium.
For the example of the Karn. The Karn's version of telepathy.
Hang on one sec. Break the box. Go let your dog out and have a great evening. Okay, back to you, Marhawkman.
The Karn's version of telepathy is finding other people's secrets I mean, yes, they can read your mind, but the Karn telepathy is about like data transfer somehow.
Your mic's kind of doing something weird, Mar Hockman, like
I
roboting
think
a
it's
bit.
Mike. It's connection.
Hey, Cliff, what do you need to do? Because we need heralds. I need some Polaron damage. So let me know what you need so we can get something figured out. Telepaths seem like vampires in terms of writing, says Infected. Yeah.
I have no idea why, but I just when you mentioned that we're having issues hearing, I looked at the connection thing, and it was just like barely getting data through for some
That's
reason. I
weird.
have no idea why. I
Are
mean, like
we?
I was having an issue like this last time with my internet too. It's like it would just like get to like barely connected at all. Like,
We were having internet issues last night. Twitch was dropping frames like crazy. It was not a great night. Is Gateway okay with everyone?
Yep.
Okay, you said you had heralds.
earlier this week, they had an issue with YouTube doing that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was having massive YouTube issues earlier this week. Weeboo?
Reboot.
I was having tons of YouTube issues, and everyone's like, oh, try this, that, the other. And then I find out it's an actual problem. That was annoying. Ow. Oh, sorry. Ow, that hurt. Jack in the Box has sold their entire stake of Del Taco. I'm unimpressed.
Right? What? Del Taco hasn't gone bankrupt yet?
If they're getting sold out by Jack in the Box, which is not doing great financially either, yeah, something's up there.
Anyway, though, what I was saying with that though is like for the Karn, Karn's version of telepathy was basically like bulk data transfer.
Okay.
Instead of the approach of having specific thoughts transferred one at a time, which is kind of like the way Betazoids tend to do it. Karn telepathy could somehow do the equivalent of mentally transferring an entire book into your brain.
Now, I don't believe telepathy could exist, but if there was such a thing as telepathy, how could you read anything beyond what the person is currently thinking?
It depends on the type of telepathy.
To,
There might
to
be
be
a probing
honest,
telepathy ability that allows you to read the entirety of someone's mind,
Yeah, well, how
but it
would
would be
you...
overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, if
well,
you did that, you'd be downloading everything, and to put it in context would probably be the process of a lifetime.
Well, that's actually a thing that gets brought up in some fiction because in Star Trek tend to just gloss over the whole reading thing, but also in Star Trek, they also mention that
Oh, I'm going left, by the way.
for most kinds of mind reading,
Mm-hmm.
the person doing the reading usually only gets surface thoughts.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Because you go in and you try and read deep. Well, that was easy.
Because
Was.
the basic gist of like rummaging through someone's memories and finding things, it's like, yes, that does sometimes come up, but it involves things more in depth than just looking at someone.
Yeah.
And often it is something that takes, like hours and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly it.
That is actually one of the aspects of a Vulcan mind meld that makes it different than a Betazoid scanning someone's mind.
Well, you would think that you could, you see Spock putting effort into doing a mind meld to try and get out that little nugget of information that he needs. And
Yeah, like he's actually like sifting through someone's.
Yeah. I will go back to the left, and I will go planet side.
There's already 2 people there. I'm not
No,
sure.
there are? Nope, there's only one person over here. Looked like you had 4 on that side.
Because you're flying a character. Oh, what's a character?
Well, okay, I guess I'm going not planet side, because the other guy moved to planet side. I'll go up this way. See if I can find a good spot. Oh, what the heck?
What's wrong?
I'm having fun trying to accelerate and decelerate. The ship usually is pretty good about it. It's the effect of the Mokai would be the best description right now. No, no, I don't want that one. I want that one. I want this one. There we go. There we go.
Anyway, other examples of telepaths. It's like they have episodes where they have like some sort of alien with a weird ability, but the weird ability is not telepathy in the sense that Betazoids do it or Vulcans do it, but something different. And um, hmm.
Lexer says, I think telepathy would work like hearing. The listener has to put conscious and subconscious effort into discriminating noise in order to properly hear and listen. Right now, there are easily 10 sources of noise that reach to my ear, to my hearing, but I can easily focus and listen to my speakers blasting your stream. So I think telepaths would develop a similar second nature for passive and active noise discrimination to properly read minds.
That would make sense.
That is actually a really good point.
That's an analogy that Diana uses in the
Tin Man.
episode with Guntu.
Yeah, that's Tin Man. But the difference, I think, is that when you are hearing things, that's noise being projected to you. I mean, you can hear our speakers because your speakers because we're saying things that's getting amplified through your system and going out to you, versus in telepathy, I think you have to make an. Good morning, Ethan. I think you have to make the effort to go out and seek out that information. So you're tapping into somebody's headset, so to speak, or their microphone, or their computer, or their telephone, to hear what they're talking about. I don't know, because we don't know the mechanism of telepathy.
Well, that's actually one of those things I was kind of getting at, though, is that Vulcans and Betazoids seem to actually use a different method of accessing something.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to. Because we see that for Vulcans, for the most part, there is a physical touch involved with it. They're not just sitting there. They are not. All hail the frog. Excuse me, the toad.
I don't know if telepathy is real. I've had some uncanny experiences that, don't really prove it one way or the other. So
experiences don't count.
Whoa. There we go.
I have word for word, 100% exactly quoted every response that somebody was going to give, and I was right. 100% of the entire conversation.
Is it somebody you've never met before in your life?
Yeah, it was somebody I never met before in my life. It was over the internet, and I was talking to a girl that did know him, and I was word for word quoting everything he was saying. Like, this person was me on the other side giving responses, but it wasn't. So I don't know if I picked up on anything. I don't think so. I didn't notice picking up on anything, right? But that was the most uncanny experience of my life, that for the entirety of the conversation, I didn't even get like a word wrong. I was literally right, word for word. And that was so freaky.
Infected Dot, I'm not ignoring you. I just screwed up my chat box. So as soon as I'm out of this fight, I'm going to pull that open and read that through. My apologies. I decided to make my chat box bigger than anything else on my screen, and therefore I actually can't see anything on my screen.
So, yeah, that was
if there's a
weird
mechanism for
thing.
it, that's one thing. If there's not a mechanism, then how? How? I know.
But that's actually one of those things that kind of sort of gets brought up in the one movie where they mentioned that Spock's ability to do a mind meld doesn't actually work through that whatever radiation proof glass that the box he's stuck in is made out of.
Do you mean Star Trek 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because like you see that moment where Spock is on the one side of the glass,
Yeah.
and Kirk is on the other side, and he does the whole like hand touch thing on the glass.
Well,
But
so much for that ship.
That was symbolic.
but at the same time though, Spock had gone to the effort of putting a copy of his Katra into McCoy,
Yeah.
and when Kirk did that, he couldn't do the same thing with Kirk apparently.
Well, I could see an argument being made. You need to make physical touch to do data transfer of that level.
Maybe.
In a short
Anyway,
time.
though, it's like one of the things that I've pondered with that one is that maybe possibly whatever radiation dampening effect the glass had actually also prevented it.
So I'm gonna be like that guy. Kes didn't need any form of physical touch in that aeroponics bay.
Kes?
He's
Yes,
talking about
Kes
the
is.
Voyager character.
I know who Void. I know who it is, but
Okay, so there's this moment where they meet these other Okampa who've been living in space with Suspiria, and her abilities start going into overdrive. It's where she boils Tuvok's face, right?
Yeah, well,
Because she can't really control it without the other Okampa guy there.
yeah, they
And then,
did do the whole like Dark Phoenix thing with Cass when
yeah.
Cass realizes that the reason why the Okampa normally keep their abilities, so we say they don't try to use their abilities to their full extent, is that it doesn't work very well, and that random chaos starts to happen instead of
well,
useful things.
Kes can't control it by herself, right? Because she's not experienced with her power. But she's being amplified during that episode. So when she uses it in the aeroponics bay to like feel all the life around her, she didn't need any form of physical touch. No, she just collapsed onto the floor.
Let's see. In fact, it says telepathy is real. Some people are considered espers. Yeah, prove it.
Well,
That's what I come down to. Prove it.
I wasn't looking at this from real world terms. I was just looking at the game stuff. But
Well, what the real world link between twins that is mentioned, uh, there, there is something to be said for using the same blueprint for two nervous systems in making them like really similar,
Yeah, but
like down to the brain. But that's still, I don't think it's a link, more like a similar response.
I think some people are incredibly sensitive and aware of what other people are
Micro
doing, their behaviors.
expressions.
Yeah, and they can read and interpret it. And then there's other people like me who are completely oblivious to it. You could be smiling at me and your eyes bright and happy, and I'd be like, huh? Don't get it. I am not good with that stuff. I just think some people are incredibly talented, whether it's practiced or innate, and other people aren't. But I don't think that's ESP. I don't think it's telepathy, because
No.
black box and put them in two separate rooms. Now tell me what that person's thinking.
It's the same little things that you can't explain. How animals know when an earthquake is coming before the shaking starts.
Actually,
You know, it's that
people have actually
natural
explained that.
instinct.
Yeah, that's a little bit
Yeah,
different.
but
And I think
it's
probably people
these-
can do that too, but we aren't as aware of it. Infected, by the way, I'm
Not
not
attuned to stuff like that.
dismissing your opinions. Before I believe it, though, I want proof. And if you've got evidence, I'm all for it. I'm more than happy to listen to it and believe it.
If you have
Absolutely.
evidence.
Not dismissing
Okay,
anybody.
So, if it was real, right?
Hmm.
They've been doing experiments on this since like Second World War
Yeah.
on ESP,
Yes.
and so far not a significant discovery has been made to prove it as a scientific fact that it's real. So I'm guessing that it's really impossible to prove something that is very instinctual rather than something controlled.
Well, my thoughts here are actually something in a different direction, because um, the thing you mentioned about the earthquakes, people have actually figured out what that is. It's what's referred to as subsonic vibrations, where it's something that humans can't hear it because the pitch is wrong, but some
But we can
animals
feel
can.
it in the pit of our stomach.
Yeah, you can.
Can't hear it, but you can feel it in the pit of your stomach. And if you still have a strong connection to your natural senses,
Let me interrupt for a
right
sec, because
before an earthquake, you'll be uncomfortable.
I have a hard stop coming up. Can we do one more something, Christy or Cliff? Either of you have a taste for doing something?
Good, yeah. I don't have anything specific in mind, but we can.
Low frequency
Well, then,
subsonics, yeah. Final cue is up for
I'm just
infected
saying.
conduit. So getting back to subsonics, or whatever it is that precedes an earthquake by a moment, yeah, people are aware of it. Weeble?
Yeah.
Or can be aware of it. I mean,
And people have figured out how to measure that.
yeah, and you can. So
Yeah. And
we were in a building back in Illinois, and there was just this weird moment, and then we had an earthquake. And nobody put it together till later, because, I mean, it was quick. It wasn't like we had 15 seconds to analyze it. We maybe had 5 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Something's off. Room shakes.
Yeah.
In fact, just because the government said something happened, I don't believe that.
Well, but like
But
the specific mechanism that people have figured out to measure is that there is actually a foreshock with earthquakes
course.
that is a much lower magnitude than the actual earthquake itself.
Yeah.
And if you know what the foreshock is, and don't just go, huh, what was that? If you even noticed it at all.
Yeah.
Because that's actually a thing that people have come up with in studies where animals notice things that people didn't.
Yeah. Well, I actually saw a
lot-
video.
Human observers will actually notice something. It's just that they don't pay attention to it.
I was watching a security video of a dog, in a baby's room. Baby's sound asleep. It's nighttime, but the camera's running, and the dog wakes up, gets a little panicky, and kind of jumps into the crib. And a moment later, the earthquake hits. But I mean, obviously, the dog can't go, "Oh, that's an earthquake." The dog just went, "Something's weird. Protect a child." because obviously I
Yeah.
was trying to protect
The-
the
the-
child, but
that's another thing that people notice doing research is that it's not universal. It's like yes, this dog did that on this occasion, but like the one in the other house didn't, because like it was asleep and didn't wake up due to the
oh
foreshock.
yeah, I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
across the board. I'm just saying that yeah, I think animals can be more sensitive towards some of these things than humans can be because
We're past any basic survival instincts because we just dumbed them down through civilizational
No.
evolvement, so we just
It-
don't need to
Yeah,
anymore. We just
we
don't
did.
need to defend.
I wouldn't say
We
that.
rely on equipment and not technology.
I would say that people actually in modern society tend to fixate on things they want to pay attention to and don't really
that kind of
pay
the same with the
attention
hearing
in
thing that we were talking about earlier. You filter
yeah
and prioritize.
But it's more like you filter out everything you don't want to listen to, which is most things.
Hey, infected dot. The Chinese believe in teleportation. That's because you can actually prove that you can teleport things. It's just at the moment we're kind of limited in size to, like an
Energy.
atom, but or particles. But yeah, it's not just a concept that's in theory. That's something that's real. Can't do it in big terms yet.
Problem is where you teleport a living.
No, we're nowhere near
Yeah.
that
We're
yet.
not doing here.
Yeah.
We can't even like
where you
remove
put
grain
the
of sand.
We can't even do
where
a
you put the
molecule
monkey
yet.
in the pod. And
No,
then,
no. We're happy with. Hey, we were able to move a cork, and not the Ferengi version, but
Well, that's actually one
I-
of those things that I made
I
a
was-
note of in my Star Trek episode videos, is that the way that they explain how teleportation works on the Enterprise transporters varies depending on which episode you look at.
yeah, doesn't it though?
No, teleportation isn't like the Federation transporters. It's like in Jeff Goldblum's
The Fly?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
probably
if you
true.
teleport the monkey, it's gonna end up inside out on the other end. That's what happens if you try and teleport a human.
Yeah, Lexers, as soon as he
That's
said
why
that, I knew
we're
that's
at
what you
one
meant.
atom. No, but Mom, that's why we're at one particle
Yeah,
and
I know.
one atom
I know.
of teleportation.
I'm very aware of
because
it.
Anything more complex is gonna end up like that monkey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and plus the energy involved to do it is incredible.
When
Oh,
you
yeah.
mentioned the Fly, I was thinking you were going to do the thing where he ends up having his DNA fused with the Fly because reasons.
That absolutely could
Yeah,
be there
no.
in theory. However, everybody remembers Galaxy Quest when they're trying to fix the transporters?
Okay, how about that scene in Voyager when they create Tuvix?
That's different.
Yeah, that
Tuvix is...
It's a
That
type of
broke-
accident
That was a
already
plot
happened.
device that was brilliant. I wish they had done more with it. I need
But-
to go,
but-
though. I have a hard stop in 1 minute, so I'm going to get out of here. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for having a wonderful conversation. We will be back in about 11 and a half hours to watch Star Raiders, so if you want to join us for a bad movie, we will be here. But in the meantime, everyone have a wonderful day, and stay moopsome.
Who are you?
Hey, Moopsy.
We are the knights who say...
Moopsy.
And I will make it a threesome.
Do you even hear yourself?
Lizard.
Computer deactivate iguana.
How dare you?